How are
Ashley.
you?
Nice to meet you as well. Good.
See?
Yes, please.
Perfect. Thank you so much. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
So I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to meet with me. Before we get started with anything, I just want to give you my business card
Great,
really
thank
quick.
you.
It's really great of Ginny to be able to set up this meeting for us. I'm super appreciative of her and your time. So because of your time, as I understand it, you have 10 minutes, correct?
I do.
Perfect. And that's very strict, and I definitely want to respect that. Now, before we move forward, are there any other decision makers that should be in on this meeting?
No, it's just me today that's available.
Okay, perfect. So before we start, I definitely want to set an agenda just to make sure that we're both on the same page. First, I want to tell you a little bit more about EMC and what we do and how we're here to help. And I also want to, by asking a few questions, learn a lot more about your company, your role, just a little bit more about Franklin Savings Credit Union.
Okay.
And then finally, I want to see if maybe EMC and Franklin Savings Credit Union can come together in some way that can benefit both of us.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Perfect. So before I start asking some questions, I just want to tell you a little bit about EMC. We are the global leader in business technology. We work with global companies all around the world, big, but my specific role is working with small and medium-sized businesses. A lot of people don't really know that about EMC, but we do work with a lot of different sized businesses, just like Franklin Savings Credit Union. And my role in particular is working with those small businesses and there to represent you throughout EMC.
Okay.
Now I want to get to know Franklin Savings Credit Union a little bit. Do you mind if I ask some questions?
No, that's fine.
Perfect. So how are you currently storing your data?
So currently today we leverage direct attached storage.
Do you mind if I take notes?
Nope.
Perfect. And if you don't mind me asking, what company are you working with?
That's all Dell.
Now, have you ever experienced any challenges with your direct attached storage?
I mean, it's not perfect, but no storage solution is. It's worked well for us to date, for the most part. I actually built most of it from the ground up, to be honest with you, so since I've been here for so long. So no, I mean, nothing crazy at the moment. It is getting a little bit more complex to manage as we continue to grow and we have some data growth within the environment, but nothing we're not used to at this point.
Okay. Now you mentioned that it's not perfect. In what ways would you say that the direct attached storage system that you're using now is not perfect?
I mean, one of the things is we've had a couple failures of the direct attached storage where we've lost all of the information on that actual storage for a given period of time, and it's been pretty critical and kind of a disaster for our business. But we were always able to restore it. It just took a while. And get back to where we needed to be. So that's something that I would say is something we try to avoid like the plague.
Right. And what would you say the implications of those failures were to your business?
I mean, we're a bank, so any customer contact information or client information is very secure and it needs to remain secure. So that's a major risk if something goes down, is we need to be able to access all of our customer information and make sure that it's not being leaked anywhere. But more so, it's a terrible inconvenience for me and my staff who have to spend days and hours on end trying to get this back up and running, when we should be working on more strategic projects for the business that are going to be more revenue generating.
Right, I completely understand. And now, as I understand it, you are moving to Hopkinton. You're growing into a new location.
Yep.
That's very exciting.
Yes,
now,
we're excited.
What kind of challenges do you think that you'll be faced with, or obstacles you'll be faced with as you move forward?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm assuming there's going to be obviously some challenges with the startup, but what we have here with all of the direct attached storage has worked pretty well for us for the most part. So we're probably just going to replicate a very similar environment that we have here down in Hopkinton.
Do you plan to add any staff as far as IT is concerned for your newer location?
I would like to, but I'm sure that's probably not in the budgets at the moment. We're incredibly conscious of the budgets that we have in place and what we're able to spend, what our spending limits are. So At this point in time, I'm sure I'll be leveraging both of them and managing both of them for at least the beginning.
Do you plan to travel between locations?
Mm-hmm.
I bet that's going to be pretty time consuming as well.
Yeah.
Is that a concern for you?
I mean, I gotta do what I have to do. So it's only 20 minutes down the road. So I'm sure it'll get tiring by all means. But at this point in time, I don't have any decision, any choice.
Now back to your direct attached storage. We talked about a few of the failures and maybe challenges you faced with it. But what do you like about the system that you currently have?
Oh, well, it does everything that we needed to do. I mean, for the most part, again, I don't have any complaints from the business units in regards to performance, so it seems like everybody's applications are doing well. And I like the fact that I know it so well because I built it, that I don't really have the time and the resources to start spending lots of time learning a new system and the insides and outs of it.
Great, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from what I'm hearing from you, as you're growing and into this new location, a few of your concerns are the past failures that you may have had with your direct attached storage, also time, the inconvenience of those failures that it can have on you, knowing the products and the direct attached stores so well as your staff members. And finally, the cost, the budgeting of growing. You don't see that there's much room for you to expand your IT department in any way as far as cost is concerned. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much nailed it.
All right, perfect. Now, what if I could tell you that EMC just might have a product that can save you time, save you in budgets and costs, and can also limit your failures and increase your growth rate?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like the ultimate goal by all means.
Perfect. So what I actually want to present to you today is one of our newest and most innovative products, particularly for small businesses, and that is the VNXC. This is our newest storage device and system. More than storing different data as you're growing, you're going to move into Hopkinton. You're going to have almost double the customer base, and that will also increase the amount of storage that you're going to need. So more so than even adding all that data storage space, it's going to save you a ton of time. So the interface is much like an app storage or app-based. It's much like you see on Office, Windows Office, Outlook, things like that. So when training employees, it's not going to take much time. We can also offer sort of a trial run where some of our experts can come in and help you train.
Okay.
As far as failures is concerned, and was one of your concerns, we've found that with a lot of the businesses that have used our VNXE as of yet, they found their failures are cut in half. From the direct attached storage, much like you are using currently. And finally, I know that one of your most concerns is just the product knowledge, the knowledge of the direct attached system. You've been with it for years and you know it inside and out. So we want to let you know that the VNXE is very easy to understand. As I mentioned before, it's easy to train with. And we also have a community help app feature on the VNXE, so that if you or any of your employees, whether in Hopkinton or Franklin, are having any problems with the VNXE, they can always just log right into that tech support directly installed into the VNXE, and they can get the help that they need.
Wow, okay.
Now, do you have any questions or concerns about the VNXE at all?
I mean, of course, there's definitely some significant concerns. We have very tight budget around here. But more so, I'm not the decision maker here, so it would make sense for you to speak with Betty and George.
Perfect. So they would be the ultimate decision makers.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So what I'd love to do is I'd love to set up another meeting. You mentioned that cost is a concern. I'd love to bring in on that meeting one of my financial experts. And they can sit down and they can talk to you a little bit about the cost and how that's going to grow over time. You always have the option to purchase right at hand and then sort of scale as you grow. So as you're growing, just adding more data storage to that. and what my finance guys can come in and speak with you or Bill and George, whoever the decision makers would be, and just kind of crunch the numbers. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Perfect. Well, I'd love to set up another meeting with you as well as Bill and George next week. Do you have any idea about their availability next Tuesday?
Yeah, how about at 2